You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Sponsored by Treebor Soft Mints. Absolute Radio.
That was the marvellous PJ Harvey with The Glorious Land. And I'm Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio, and I'm with Emily and Gareth.
Good morning.
Hi, Frank.
The sun is shining through the window in Golden Square, and that's absolutely marvellous. I'm a tad fatigued.
Are
I'd say
you?
that. Well, I went to the Comic Relief doodah.
Oh,
last
you were
night.
down there.
Oh, God, I was down there. I'd say it's probably the worst place to watch Comic Relief.
Is it?
Yeah. Because what it is the screens in all the, these, green rooms and bars, and the sound's not really up. And you'd have hated it, Emily. It was
Why?
It was very, how can I put it? It was very competition winner.
Oh, I wouldn't have liked
Yes.
that.
Yes. I saw a blue nylon wig on the way in. I thought, is this for me? And then a woman came up to me, a woman I vaguely recognised, I think Oriental, middle-aged. And she said, you remember me? I was on your show once. And I thought, no, here's a difficult moment in the making. And I said, oh, God, how are you? What I should have said was, who are you? But I couldn't get the word out.
I like you for styling it out, Frank.
Yeah, you have to style it out. And she said, so, are you... do you live in England now, or are you living in Ireland? And I thought,
She thought you were gay, man.
Yeah.
Did she?
Yeah.
Gay burn?
Yeah.
I did have one. I thought I'd covered it with Germaline, but no, maybe she spotted it. David Trimble, I was thinking, could it be the Reverend Ian Paisley?
Yeah. Oh, no.
I was saying, Ulster says no to someone at the time. Actually, I was a bit more polite than that. I said, Ulster says no, thank you. If he'd have
Very
said
good.
that, I think he'd have won. I think people thought, actually, he's quite polite, the Reverend Ian Paisley. Anyway, I'm thinking it's my proverbial Graham Norton estate.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it could be
But
right.
did Graham Norton ever
yes.
live in... Did he live in Ireland, Graham Norton? Or did she just think, well, you're Irish, you probably live in Ireland?
Yeah,
He lived in
probably.
Ireland at one point.
Well, yeah, but I'm sure this woman didn't know him when he was a
right.
child. She could have been... She had a hint of dinner lady about her.
Well, she could have been a family retainer, nanny of some sort.
Yeah, she could have. She was certainly a water retainer. I don't think there's any question about that. Anyway, that was that. And I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure it was the... She probably thinks, oh, good old Graham Norton, he's doing well, now. On the... she probably thought I got my late-night chat show back, it's the big comeback. Little did she know. So I spent most of the night pursuing David Baddiel, who I never found.
Oh, he was there, was he?
I heard he was in the building, and people said to me, oh, yeah, I just saw him
Oh,
talking...
he was in the building.
Yeah. They said, I just saw him talking to Doctor Who and his assistant. That's what they said to me. I mean, I couldn't track him down. It was a bit like Where's Wally? That
Well, it's hard when Alan Yentop's in the same building.
Well, exactly. I mean, they were... Yeah. Separated at... Well, not even at birth. I think they were about 30 when it happened. Anyway, if you want to text us about anything, such as where is David Baddiel, you can text us on 8 12 15. Of course, he could now be in a different time, couldn't he?
Yeah.
He could have gone to Scandinavia in the 18th century with if Doctor Who got drunk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Doctor Who, can I ask you something about Doctor Who?
Ask me anything you like about Doctor Who. Yes, I'm ready for this. Go
When
on.
I saw him, I watched a bit of
Two
it.
hearts. Is that what you're going to ask?
No! I watched it on television last night like a muggle. I wasn't down with the celebrities. But I watched it. I was in one of the presenters' houses. But,
Yes, exactly. Let's not spoil it completely.
Yeah. But when Doctor Who comes on, Frank, he does a funny voice. I didn't know. I thought that was the actor's actual voice, but he puts on a silly doctor's voice, doesn't
Are you
he?
sure this was Doctor Who, or was it a Dalek? He puts on what do you mean he puts on a silly voice?
I can't do an impression of it, but he talks a bit like that. I'm the Doctor. And I thought, well, is that your actual voice?
No, that's K9 you're doing. That is absolutely K9. You've got completely mixed up. You think he's a funny chap, that Matt Smith? I find him a bit metallic.
Yeah.
No, that's...
So was he being Matt Smith, or was he being the Doctor?
Who, David Baddiel? If David Baddiel finds out there's a doctor in the room, he will go and talk to them about insomnia or some sort of wart-type phenomenon.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. No, he was being... I presume when he was knocking about the corridors, he was Matt Smith.
We did. Gareth and I ran into one of the comic relief celebrities with you yesterday, though. So
That
we did
was
see one of
exciting.
the. We saw
That was
Lorraine Kelly, didn't we?
Yeah, in Wagamama. Who'd have thought that?
I know.
Yeah, that was an exciting moment. I think I'm going to play the next song for former DJ and pop quiz host Mike Reed, because he banned it once.
Oh.
That was Two Tribes, Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Frankie Goes to Hollywood, of course, would have been the perfect soundtrack for me getting waxed last week.
Very good.
Yeah, it just struck me that. So I made a terrible error before I said that song, and I had to make, of all things, I had to make a musical error on this show. But I said that Mike Reed banned Two Tribes, and he didn't. He banned Relax.
Oh.
No, but he should have banned that, because Frankie just said sex and horror are the new gods.
Yeah.
It's a little bit racy.
No, but I think that is the family motto of the Reeds, if I remember
That's
rightly.
something he very firmly believed in.
What happened to Mike Reed? Is he still... he'll be on... he
does musicals on John
Radio
Betjeman.
Wyvern.
Yeah.
That's where he'll be.
Wyvern.
That's my guess.
Frank, we've had a text in.
Can I just say that
Yeah.
Mike Reed once... You know, he once had a play, wrote a play... who was it about? And
John Betjeman, he wrote.
It closed. Was it about Oscar Wilde when it closed in one day,
Yes,
that one? It
yeah.
did one night and it closed.
Yeah.
And he said, well, they interviewed him the next day. He said, I'm not bothered about it. He said, it's like Charles Dickens at the time, you know, he was completely obscure when he was working. No one knew who he was. But now we talk about Dickensian England. There was two major problems with this. One that was Charles Dickens was probably the most famous man in England.
It was very big.
when he was working.
Yeah.
And also the suggestion that we will at some point refer to the late 20th, early 21st century as Reedian England. It just, I doubt that will happen. But who knows, you know, history
Yeah.
can play tricks on people.
Exactly.
Look at David Starkey.
Hi, Frank. Did you add the horn to that PJ Harvey track?
In a way, I add the horn to every track. That's what I like to think. But no, it's not a horn. It's a US cavalry bugle, for God's sake. No, it's on there.
That was from 227.
Yeah, we were, like I say, me and as you might know, my girlfriend's sister is living with us at the moment. So
Yeah.
me and my girlfriend's sister, we were driving around Gloucestershire the weekend, listening to that PJ Harvey track. And when I first put it on and the bugle came, because the bugle doesn't feel like it's part of the track, I kind of assumed the Dukes of Hazzard were trying to overtake. And I was in their way. But no, it is part of the track. Actually, speaking of
The Triumvirate.
Yes, of the Triumvirate.
Yeah.
We had a bit of a moment in the household this week, because I was interviewed in the Radio Times this week.
Oh, I missed that.
Well, I haven't read it, obviously. And people still read it. TV Times, does that still exist?
I don't know.
Does it?
I don't know.
Daisy's nodding in the corner. She has been a news agent for
some
20
research.
years. Hasn't been in since the paper round.
She loves a Murray mint as well.
Is that I've heard?
Perfect, yeah.
Don't mention that on this programme. God, the sponsors will be... I can't... I'm sorry. If there's anyone from our sponsors listening, can I say that was... Murray mints are vile. So, I would rather have my tongue ripped from my throat than accept one of those. You'll probably find they're made by our sponsors now.
probably
Anyway.
will. Anyway, so meanwhile, back with the Triumvirate.
Yeah, so, nice picture, and it says, you know, Frank Skinner and his girlfriend, but that was the caption, but the picture was not Frank Skinner and his girlfriend, it was Frank Skinner and his girlfriend's sister. Oh, man, it's all got very
what happened?
awkward. Well, my girlfriend took it quite
Did
well.
she see the funny side? I can imagine Kath would.
I think she saw the, there was a tear in the eye, but I think she was all right with it.
There wasn't anything in the picture to suggest she was your girlfriend.
No, certainly not.
Okay, that's good.
What, we were a bit sullen and...
They'd clearly just been a row.
Exactly. I had a big red hand mark on the side of my face. No, there was nothing like that. I recently got photographed with a friend of mine. She's called Emma Brunges, right?
Oh, yes, I'm familiar with her work.
Yeah, and me and her were photographed at the opening night of a theatrical event.
Yeah.
And the next day it said in the paper, Frank Skinner with friend Brannigan Spencer. Where on earth?
I don't know,
And I
but I
thought
wish
that-
I had that name. What a brilliant
It is. It's
name.
a brilliant. I mean, if you're going to make up a name, but I looked her up to see if there was, if there's such a
Yeah.
person, but I couldn't find a Brannigan Spencer anywhere.
You see, it's
But if ever I check into a hotel undercover, I'm going to go for Brannigan Spencer, because Brannigan could just as easily be a man's name. couldn't
yeah, it's a great name.
it? Sorry, I interrupted.
Well, I was just going to say, I've been photographed with you, Frank, and I think I got... You see, there are different grades of what you're called. You can be and companion. That means you're old, generally, if you're like... Oh, no, I didn't get and companion.
Nurse, I've had, if they're very young.
Frank Skinner plus guest.
Yeah.
Don't really like that. It's a bit of who the
No.
hell are you? You can be...
Friend, you can be.
And friend.
That usually means a strong hint of sexual chemistry, I find.
I fear my days of and stunning companion are over. However, and his date, Frank Skinner and his date for the night.
Sorry, should we have jumped in then, Gareth?
No.
I should have jumped in and said, no, don't be ridiculous.
Yeah. And his date for the night. I'd be happy with that. You
Yes.
sound a bit a good time girl, a
Well,
bit fun.
I had 200 T-shirts printed with that on once. No, it was... it's a bit awkward, the whole thing, but... and it's going. The whole thing's going lovely. Don't get me wrong. The great thing about living with Rachel, my girlfriend's sister, is that she's very light sensitive. She's like a sort of a newborn mouse.
a plant of some sort.
So when she comes into, because there's a lot of windows in my flat in the main room. So when she comes in the morning, she's got the dressing gown and the big dark glasses. It's like living with Jackie Onassis. It's very exciting. It's the first real hint of showbiz I think we've had in our flat, and I'm loving it.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Oh dear, there was a bit of an activity. Again, I don't want to get too domestic this week, but I got an email. Was it an email? Yeah, it was an email from my girlfriend's sister, and it was a picture of a sort of.
while you were in the house?
Well, they were away, so the two of them, and it was a picture of a sort of country mouse. If you can imagine a cuddly toy country mouse.
Oh, yeah.
And
Hamster.
dressed in like a Victorian dress, holding a sort of lace-trimmed straw bow tie at crotch level, and looking quite hang-dog, if a mouse can look hang-dog. Sheepish, shall we say. Oh, it's a menagerie.
Yeah.
And the message said, "We've just bought this." And I thought, and I could see from the scale of it, it's 3.5 feet high, this thing. And I thought, I don't understand. So, when I finally came to see it face to face, it turns out to be a vacuum cleaner cover that they saw in a charity shop. It's a big, bulky, slightly frightening figure. £1.75 they're paying.
Oh, it's in a good price.
You see if you go out into the country, you can still get the bar.
That's a nice price.
So I'm thinking, I'm kind of liking it on the vacuum cleaner.
Really?
Because, a vacuum cleaner, it's an ugly thing. It's a practical, it's not
Speak for
supposed to have any
yourself.
beauty.
I've got a Henry. Very happy with it.
I'm not sure about a Henry. I've always had that thing with a Henry that it looks so tragic when you see one in a skip. It's terrible. It's like being at a clown's funeral. I don't know if you've ever been at a clown's funeral. But anyway, so I'm thinking I'm going to get covers for all the less beautiful things in the house.
Are you?
Yeah. I've already got on the... Do you remember those old toilet roll covers that used to have the crocheted woman in the crinoline dress?
Oh, doily.
Well, now what I've got is I've got a little model of the head of Britain's fattest man. And I've just put that and then like a sort of skin-coloured stretch thing over the top. So it looks fabulous. So that's my... if anyone's got any hints for things I could use to cover ugly domestic items, and please...
No
remarks about the wife.
Lee Max arrived.
Yeah, so...
We've had an extraordinary text message in.
Really?
Well, the subject line is the census.
Oh, yes.
I didn't know they were texting in the census. Make it a lot easier, wouldn't it?
It says, I was wondering if Emily would mind if I claimed her for the census.
Yep, fine.
Okay, done. Still done. I know she's essentially homeless at the moment, and I found filling in one person, no guests quite depressing. So I thought I could add in some people of no fixed abode. Cheers, Stephen Luton.
Oh, that's where you've lost me, Luton.
Oh, it was all going all right till
You
then.
half lost me at Stephen, to be honest. But Luton's
Oh,
clinched
come
it.
on, it could have been Stephen Fry.
There you go. No, Stephen Luton, you sound really nice, and what a lovely offer, Frank.
It
I
is.
might need to take him up on it.
Well, what are you going to be on a census form? Because you are sort of in
Well, I
between
don't know,
homes.
but when I was discussing this at some stage, Gareth informed me, he was very angry. He said, it's the 23rd of March, you have to get an invite.
It says on the census you have to fill it in on exactly the 23rd of March or as close as possible
That's
to that
this
date.
week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'm
think
no
it's
fixed
Wednesday.
abode. Can I just say staying with celebrity?
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah?
I think that's all
SWC, that's a special option you get.
Is there a little box for that?
Staying with celebrity.
Tick following celebrity. Right Reverend Robert Runcie.
It's
Joe
made,
Pasquale.
it's made specifically for Madonna's children.
Oh, we're rocking. I feel we're rocking. I don't know about you. Okay.
Yes, we've had some lovely emails in during the week. Dear Emily, Frank and Gareth in alphabetical order.
Oh, my goodness.
EFG, love it.
EFG, yeah.
I am a big fan of your podcast and listen to both the weekend and not the weekend episodes, but have found this commitment has developed a small problem. I've found that my internal monologue has developed a West Bromwich accent. When going about general day-to-day tasks, I've found...
Can I say that's a bit odd, because my internal monologue is broad West Indian.
Really?
If I have any at all, I feel inside my head, well, this is a moral dilemma, and no mistaking. And I don't know where that's come from. I think he's watching a lot of cricket as a young man. Carry on.
When going about general day-to-day tasks, I have found I have a WWFD, what would Frank do attitude to any situation I find myself in.
Oh.
Have other people developed these symptoms, and is there a cure?
What would Frank do?
What would Frank do?
That's coincidental, because I'm going to do... You know that programme, I've never seen Star Wars, where you have to talk about stuff you've never done. So I've spent much of the week talking about stuff I've never done rather than what I would do. The three things I'm doing on the show are cocaine, drinking and driving, and having sex with a Native American. So look out for that one.
Yeah.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Owls about that, man. It's my Jimmy Savile impression. I'm still having a problem with the wobbly bit at the end.
Are you?
Story of my life. There was an exciting moment during that record, and I loved that record, so I was excited about the fact it was playing. But then I just made a casual throwaway remark about having a physical union with a Native American. And as I put the music on, Emily said, "Oh, I've done that." Who'd have thought? That's absolutely brilliant.
Well,
That's awesome.
but then, what wasn't so awesome is that Gareth started getting up some list.
I'm a bit distracted. I'm on nativecelebs.com seeing who this person could have been. There's quite a range to choose from.
He hasn't just fallen in love with celebrities. I don't.
Yes, I have.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Sorry, I don't know where I got that information from.
So Burt Reynolds is apparently part Cherokee.
Burt Reynolds.
Oh, no, I'm not looking. I'm thinking feathers here. I don't want someone who's
Norris?
who's well down the line.
Chuck Norris.
It'd be great though. It would be a very good bloke to fall out with. Then you could tell friends, I'm going to Chuck Norris.
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones.
What's you're just going to say
Force
names,
is
and then
strong.
you're going to say names in a disparaging way. We could do that all morning. I'm guessing was it something like Dangling Squirrel?
No.
They've all got names like that.
No.
Dances with Divas.
That's what he's called now.
Yeah.
And it's not dances.
So did you put a brave face on it? That's what I want to know. I'm terribly-
We were talking about, someone said they've got a Frank in a monologue and asked themselves what would Frank do. Someone's just texted in, I've developed an Emily in a monologue. Stroke attitude, should I worry? Robin Guilford.
Oh.
Yes, you should worry.
Frank,
You're going to get ideas above your station, I fear.
how dare you?
Well, you're all right. You actually live in the station. So, yeah, but for anyone else, that could be endless frustration.
Frank, we were talking earlier, well, you know, we had that text.
Oh, we were talking earlier.
Well, we were about...
Just let it go. I hate people going about the past.
Okay, I'm not going to say what it was,
No,
but
no,
you would
go
quite
on.
like it, because it's
Go
a
on.
what would Frank do?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we've had someone text in a what would Frank do. It says, Frank, I have a dilemma. Me and the missus have our two very good friends living with us. They have now got together, but she has turned into, I don't know how to pronounce this, I believe it's chimera of a being, and upsetting the balance of the house. Should we tell her to leave? Dan, 28 Chelmsford.
Is it Chimera Seal? No, Chimera is a sort of a monstrous woman, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a mythological.
Oh, I should know what that is.
Yeah. Isn't it on your passport, on the occupation?
Yeah.
So when he says two friends, he means a male friend and a female friend.
Yes,
So now he's got a
exactly.
couple living with
Yeah.
us. See, that's always a mistake, I think.
Really?
Because I think it's like the two alpha males. They both want to make the house their own. Right? That's,
Tell me about it.
yeah, that's the
In
problem.
this studio.
Yeah. So yeah, me and Gareth have been known to rot before now. Yeah. So what is the problem exactly?
Well, he's just saying they're both their friends, but they've got together, and it's obviously made her quite awful, and they want to tell her to leave, but because they've got together, what do they do? They're now a couple.
Because they want to keep the other one.
Yeah.
Well, they want to engineer a massive split between them. I'd suggest a bit of perfume sprayed on his coat. Right. Similar.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a really good
Moustache
idea.
hairs on the bra strap. A novel by Beryl Bainbridge. Oh, I haven't said that for ages. How lovely. It is a difficult one, but I think a couple living with you, because then you get all their... See, we've gone for a single person, and then they basically hang out with us, is the idea.
Yeah, it's the idea.
I'm not liking that.
We have another one here. It's Robert here from Melbourne. You may remember me from the one man, two watering cans and a bag of loofahs email.
Who wouldn't?
I have a moral dilemma. I was listening to the weekend podcast yesterday and laughed. Now, not to look like a madman and laugh on a quiet change, I changed the laugh into a cough, at which point something flew out of my mouth into the hood of the person in front. Do I?
Oh, well, what does he mean? Something flew out of his mouth?
A bit of something.
Oh, it makes me feel sick. Stop.
I don't know, maybe spit, maybe a little bit of food.
When he said it into their
Maybe a
hood, does he
raisin.
mean their local area? How far did it go?
I think the person was
We're
making.
talking flame in the hood. Is that what we're talking?
Should he, 1, let them know, 2, try to take it out quietly, 3, leave it?
Take it out. What level of solidity has this got? Well, the problem is it depends on the weight of the projectile.
Of the matter.
Have they been knocked unconscious, is the question.
Well, I mean, if it was very heavy as well, and say if if the railway station they have to ascend stairs to get out, they could go up and the weight of the hood could take them backwards. That could be quite dangerous.
I don't like the option of let them know. That seems a terrible idea.
I don't. Imagine saying, sorry, I've just gobbed in your hood. I mean, that would be courageous in the extreme. I wouldn't do that. Also, on the bright side, when that hardens, he could put that hood up, and that could save his life. The old World War I soldier with the Bible in the pocket and the bullet. Somebody could hit him over the back of the head with a baseball bat, and once he's got a good crust on that could save his life.
Like a helmet, yeah.
Like a helmet. Touch for the very first time. That's what I always say. Well, I don't know if I've exactly taken... I'll tell you, here's a moral dilemma I had. I'll leave you with this. This was a genuine moral dilemma. I was on the platform at New Street Station. Actually, speaking of snot on a bus, I must tell you this first of all. I went and had 6 teeth out, and my face was completely numb. And I got on the bus, and I sensed people were staring at me.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, my mouth probably looks a bit out of place. Your mouth's not quite straight when you've got the...
It's not massively straight now, darling.
No, I know that. But I had the, what do they call it? Anaesthetic, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I felt people were looking, and there was a snigger. And when I got in, I looked in the mirror, and both my nostrils I looked a bit, when the light caught it, I looked a bit like Hulk Hogan. That's what it looked as if someone had to be Hulk Hogan's stunt double. The moustache hadn't turned up, and they think, well, I'm going to have to form this out of my own bodily matter. That's what it looked like. Anyway, here's the dilemma. I was on New Street Station in Birmingham, and I was I got the urge, and I went to Burger King. That's the bottom line of it.
And, nothing to be ashamed of.
No, and it depends on the urge. But what we used to call in the old days, a tramp came up to me and he said, give us a bite of that burger, will you?
Oh, God.
And I had to make my moral maze decision. Maybe you can guess what I did.
This is Frank Skinner
Absolute.
Radio.
So you had a run-in with a tramp. People have suggested what happened next.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
when
guess
I was on New Street Station and a tramp... Can you use the word tramp? Is that politically correct?
Of course you can.
Okay, a tramp
It's a
came...
job.
Thanks.
What are they
Is
gonna
it a
do?
job? A tramp came up to me and said, can I have a bite of your burger? Well, it's a difficult thing, especially there was more bread in his teeth than there was on my burger. Carry on.
Someone did you spit food in his face? From 560?
I would never do. I mean, it looked as if a lot of people had. But no, that would be... I come from a generation where a tramp was seen as quite lucky. There weren't many about when I was a kid.
Lucky.
Yeah. It was if you... I mean, you wouldn't shake hands with one, but to see one they were in the same league as the Black Cat.
Okay.
Frank, there's another suggestion from 560. I bet you told the tramp to go firth and multiply. Oh, he's got it wrong. So he's retexted.
Right, go firth and multiply.
Yes.
I did it with a stammer.
That was meant to say go forth and multiply and get a job, is what he's suggesting.
Because there's a place called Firth.
Yeah, it sounds like go to Scotland and multiply.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that to a homeless person. I've only just arrived.
Exactly.
I'd send them straight back.
And then the last suggestion from 437, a lot of anonymity, re the tramp. You either tore a piece of the burger, ate the majority and left him the last bite, or took one big bite and gave the rest, or fell to his knees and wept.
Fell to his knees.
No, what?
Well, I liked him, but not that much. Who'd fall to a tramp's knees without breathing apparatus?
It would make you cry, though.
Well, it certainly would. You're quite right. I tore a piece of the burger off and gave it to him.
Oh,
And
that's
I was very pleased that I came up with that idea.
Yeah, it's very
I mean, there was no meat on it, just a bit of bap. But he was glad of it, I thought.
You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio, the softest, mintiest show in town. Sponsored by Tree Bar Soft Mints.
Absolute Radio.
I think it's our second anniversary on something like Wednesday this week.
Is it
Is it this
really?
week?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, they come and they go, these anniversaries. I'm fed up of them. 100 shows, 2 years. Who cares? Anyway, I'm just glad to be here. What about you? My age. Anyway, you can text us on 8 12 15 about anything you like. And I mean anything. We had a letter, didn't we, from our old friends, the Philly girls. Remember saying about there isn't enough...
Yeah.
The great textings that never happened that we talked about.
Yeah.
They said, as it's your 2-year anniversary, you should throw out some of the text-ins that never got answered. What happened to the topic, most evil man you ever buried in a field?
That would have. I thought that'd be a great phone-in. I was talked out of it. Most evil man you ever buried in a field. Although we got
decide.
Dave from Essex. Yeah.
Or, the best...
Actually, Simon Wiesenthal would have won that hands down.
Yeah.
Next.
Or the best, why is life a grotesque pantomime?
Yeah, you see? How lovely to hear from the Philly girls
Yeah.
again. They actually give all their names as well, which is...
Samantha, Leslie, Aria, Cassie and Erica.
Oh, we miss you, girls.
Really
Love
do.
you all. But, yeah, why is life such a grotesque pantomime? Discuss. There aren't enough of those kind of... I'd like to do, who's your favourite German literary figure? That's our phone in this week. Shall we go for that? I've got my own, but I'll keep it quiet. I was...
Okay. Keep your powder dry, for goodness sake.
Yeah, I find that if I'm a bit... if there's problems, if anything's annoying me, I often turn to German literature. And I was having this same conversation with Chaz from Chaz and Dave.
Wow.
And he said his dad was just the same. He said to me, when me rock and roll music wakes him up, Goethe. When the Poles knocked England at the cup, Goethe. When the kids are always swinging on the gate, Goethe. I can do this for an hour. So yeah, so that's they turn to Goethe. I'm you know.
What are you?
Well,
I'm going to Grasswood myself.
I think I'm a bit Herman Hesse. If
Are
it's
you?
bad news,
Yeah. I'm Grass, he's Hess. Where do you stand in this debate?
I'm trying to think is Kant German?
yeah, he looks German. He'll do.
That'll do.
Yeah. Anyway, looking forward to those texts come pouring in like an avalanche. Like some kind of a crazy avalanche. We haven't done like a proper texting for people to text in.
No, that's true.
And that I look forward to I think we've got the brightest listeners on radio. I'm not just saying that because you're listening. I just saw the
Well,
text that they're little
we do-
works of art in their own right.
Well, there was a story this week talking about people eating out, and we eat out a lot, don't we?
I
Speak for
go
yourself.
into restaurants and things.
No, we do. Yeah, we don't. We keep it cheap.
No, in fields, spare ground.
Picnics.
Yeah. Yeah, restaurants and things, that's what, generally. I know, in strictly speaking, eating in, but...
This survey was talking, though, about people's top restaurant gripes. So the things they find most irritating, and top of the list was tables put too close together, which surprised me. Quite a specific gripe. So they didn't want to be too near the other. I mean, that would have been my gripe.
I find when you're squeezing through tables too close together on the thigh, when you get the pinch thigh from the two adjacent tables, I don't like that. I had one this week, I was in it was more of a cafe, maybe a bistro, looking back. And I thought, I'm feeling a bit fatigued. I'll get a lift. And I said, I'll have a Coca-Cola, please. And they came back, glass and can. It was that kind of delivery.
Okay.
Now, it was March the 17th.
Yeah.
Now, the can had got Santa Claus on it. I wasn't happy with it. I don't know why Coca-Cola do that, to bring out the Christmas can, because come March you're thinking, is this all right to drink this still?
Yeah.
So I wasn't happy with that. I'm not keen when sometimes I was in an Indian restaurant recently and they put the rice and the curry on the... They arrived with them separately, but then the bloke started scooping them.
served it
He
up
started
himself.
serving it up.
Don't get over involved. I hate it when they do that. Yeah.
Okay, either put it on the plate and bring it to me, or put it on the separate stupid silver plates. But don't I don't want a halfway house. Also, I was brought up on Vesta curry from the packet.
Oh, you'd never have guessed.
And I follow that serving suggestion on the cover to the letter. I still, in the poshest Indian restaurant you could ever be, I still put the rice in a circle and put the sauce in the middle. He'd messed that up.
I don't like it when they come over mid-anecdote.
Oh, that's
It's obvious I'm mid-anecdote.
You're always mid-anecdote.
Always mid-anecdote.
Exactly.
Wait your turn.
I don't like it when people at the places where they say, "Oh, have you ever been here before?" Like when they think they've got to explain how it works. Like
They
at
only say that
Nando's.
in a harvester gap.
In Nando's as well.
Well, they can't believe anyone's come back, usually. That's
They
the
should
theory.
remember me.
Yeah, they do that, though. I don't like pie in a bowl.
Oh.
You know when you get pie in a bowl on the plate? Oh, too much crockery. Ridiculous.
Frank on
Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
The Magnificent Four with Telephone Thing. This
Talking
is Frank
of
Skinner on
telephone
Absolute
thing.
Radio. What about those? Sorry, Telephone Thing. Go
Well,
on.
yeah, talking of... You're distributing on your iPhone a photograph of the Hoover cover that we were talking about earlier.
Yes, and you're all in shock, it looks
It's
like.
the most repellent thing I've ever... It's actually terrifying.
Maybe we can we put it on the website, that picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put... I'll show
Yeah.
you my Hoover
Like
cover.
it's a really bleak art installation.
It's
about the futility of life.
There is something. I tell you what, they haven't fully stuffed the neck on the country mouse, so that the head is hanging
It's
to
hanging
one
its head.
side.
It looks ashamed.
It does look profoundly ashamed, but I don't know if you've ever straddled a Dyson. I didn't feel great about myself. I'll be honest with you. But it is, we'll put that on the website. You can have a look at my...
It's disturbing.
I'll get over it.
It made me sad. So did you see about the Queen Mother's record collection? There was a thing in the paper about the music the Queen Mother was into.
Oh, yeah. Was it...
Eclectic tastes.
Sorry
Who
to
was
interrupt,
it?
guys, quickly.
Oh, sorry.
Bobby in Scotland, Goethe. Anyway, carry on.
Bobby, that was all it said.
German literary figures.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry, as you were.
did he hear my Chas and Dave? Sorry.
176, what about Bertolt Brecht?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Good point.
Queen Mother. I like that we just randomly read them out throughout the show.
No, it's good. It's a good call, Bertolt Brecht, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
He also
the
said-
shark has pretty teeth, dear, and he shows them. Let me hear you say pearly white. Hey!
No, I'm not going to say pearly white.
Okay,
I will.
go on.
She liked
No, go on.
Paul Simon.
No,
I
come on.
said it, pearly white.
Did you? Okay, thanks. Don't make rash promises about what you're going to say and not say. I've had enough of that with the government. Go on.
Paul Simon, she liked You Could Call Me Al.
I don't know that one. How does that go?
Call me Al, you can call me Al.
The Queen
It doesn't
Mother
sound
like that.
anything like that. You've just...
Me Al.
That's not it.
Is?
Gareth, Frank, it sounds nothing like that. Can I sing it?
In the Queen Mother's head, it sounded like that. Everything.
What? That's
It's not.
Everything sounded like that in the Queen Mother's
Sorry,
head.
Frank, this is really upsetting. He's got it so wrong. Can
No,
I
it's
sing
true.
it,
When a
please?
small child went up to the Queen Mother and said, "I have these flowers for you," all she could hear was, "Call me out, call me." Yeah.
There's no such song. It
How
goes,
does it
if
go?
you be my bodyguard, I will be a
Oh, I know that.
Yeah, it doesn't go, call me out.
Oh no, it does go. Call me
Yeah,
out.
the Call Me
I
Al
can
bit.
call you Betty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Betty, you can call me.
Our
you can
music radio. It's the best thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's right.
it goes.
That's right. I'm surprised Al Murray doesn't come on stage to that.
He does now.
Chevy Chase in the video where Chevy Chase
That's a
lip
funny-
sync to it.
I've got the article here.
Yeah.
It says,
She-
blah, blah, blah. It says, her love of a tipple, this is the Queen Mother, her love of a tipple. Right,
Oh, I hope they don't say
drinking.
that about me when I'm gone.
No, her love of a tipple was reflected in Tacker Dram Afore Ye Go by Merck, a local folk band. That's one of the tracks. And an album titled Fiddler's Dram by an English group of the same name. Oh, so that suggests she's some sort of an alcoholic, that she had 2 songs with a sort of a whiskey. So when I die, they'll say, and his love of the seasons were reflected in the fact that he had several fall albums and a book about Mike and Bernie Winters. I mean, what kind of detective work is that? Rubbish.
She likes Scar as well, apparently.
There's a scar
Oh, Carolina.
and Canadian yodeling.
She likes
Scar. She likes Scar music, apparently.
Carolina's not ska.
It is.
That's
It's originally a
dancehall.
Scar. It's a Scar song originally.
She liked the specials. Their Scar.
She did-
She liked the
She
specials.
She liked
Odd
Ghost
Bins.
Town.
She had to tour a lot of places like that. Anyway, with that.
Yeah, so it's... Yeah, no, I wouldn't say Carolina was Scar. I'm sorry.
No, it is. The original is
Is it?
actually.
Oh,
you'll
yeah,
find.
sure it is. Yeah, try and get it out of it.
The original Call Me Out went.
Funnily enough, I was at the Queen Mother's old house this week.
Oh, Clarence.
Clarence house.
Lovely.
Yeah. Clarence the Cross-Eyed house. I was there.
How was it?
It was pretty exciting. I should probably tell you after the adverts, but
Oh,
can I
okay.
just tell you, before I entered the house, I was a bit early when I got there, right? Because it was a bit of a fancy do. I'm talking members of the royal family. Yes, and before I get in, I'm a bit early, and you're not allowed to arrive early.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd check my emails. And I checked my emails on my iPhone, and a thing came up, and it said something like Majestica.web, and I thought, oh my God, I'm using Prince Charles's Wi-Fi. Don't get any more excited than that.
We only have this excerpt. This is Frank Skinner
Absolute.
Radio.
We've had some texting, Gav, haven't we?
Yeah, we have a restaurant gripe from Eustace H. Plimpsall.
Oh.
Eustace H. Plimsoll.
Like character in Annie the
I
Musical.
know him, actually. He's my personal trainer.
So he's complaining about the restaurant The Hungry Horse has on its entrance. Find a table.
I don't know if you've ever seen the Hungry Horse's entrance. It's a dark night out. Sorry, it says, go on.
On its entrance it says, find a table, choose your meal, order a drink, we'll do the rest. There is no rest, unless we have to cook the stuff and perhaps wash up afterwards. That's it. That is all.
But hold on, I really thought that was going to rhyme. Everything about your delivery told me that was going to rhyme, and then it says we'll do the rest. What was it again?
Find a table, choose your meal, order a drink, we'll do the rest.
Rubbish.
Rubbish.
Do you remember the Fat Boy restaurants? They were a bit like Ed's Diner.
Don't think my family ever took me to those.
Yes. And they used to have little cards that says Fat Boy Says. And then there'd be like a quote from Fat Boy, like Fat Boy says, cheese fries are, the best treat with a chocolate milkshake. And you can see, I can see how Fat Boy arrived at his current persona. Fat Boy says, I am desperately lonely. That's what they should have had on. Fat Boy says, heart tablets in my other jack, in my... Oh. Anyway.
Bring back Vesta. Best wishes, John.
Looking forward to that happening. So I was at Clarence house this week, I was saying, which is now the home. It was the home of the Queen Mother, but it's now the home of Prince Charles. And what is Camilla's official title? The Duchess of
Duchess of Cornwall.
Oh, yeah, Duchess of Cornwall. So she wasn't there, but Prince Charles... it was a reception to celebrate the 400th anniversary of the King James Bible. No, actually, I was looking at the Fall website a couple of weeks ago, and I noticed that I was mentioned on it, and I never normally read anything about myself on the internet, but I thought I might be all right on the Fall website. And the bloke said, I'm listening to Frank Skinner's radio show. I've listened to it for a few weeks now. His favourite themes are the Four and the King James Bible. A marvellous summary of the show. So I went there. As some of you may know, I am a follower of the Nazarene. Anyway, Prince Charles was there. And he came over and...
did he?
We chatted.
What did he say to you?
Well, we chatted... there's a thing I love about the royal family in general, and I think Prince Charles in particular, is what I would call the laugh bargain. And the thing is, this is the laugh bargain. Whatever Prince Charles says that's even mildly amusing, you really laugh at. And whatever you say that's even slightly amusing, he laughs at.
Right.
And, that, for me, is my ideal state in the world. I could have that with everyone.
So you could live with him quite happily?
Yeah, I'd easily. I'm in the worst spare rooms, I saw them.
I don't need, the Hoover cover.
It was great when we went in. There was one room that just had, guns on the wall. And fabulous I think it was to make the Americans feel at home.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it was... So I said to him, this was on the 17th, and I said, so have you had... Is it on St Patrick's Day to keep the Catholics away? And he cracked up. He loved it.
Did he?
He absolutely loved it, yeah. And then we talked about...
How did he laugh?
No, I'll tell you something. It's a terrible thing. I know you're supposed to be all cool about it. I was actually quite excited. I've met him before.
I would be excited.
I met him at the Royal Variety performance, which I think I've spoken about before, which didn't go that well. But he was... it was a bit like the King's Speech live. You know what I mean? Because there he is. He could be the... And I got a bit excited. I mean, there'll be people at home saying, you make me sick. But I don't care. It was a thrill of many variations. And we talked about... He's on YouTube at the moment, and we talked about YouTube comments, and I said, don't ever look at them. You'll just upset yourself.
Well, I hope Prince Charles doesn't look at YouTube comments.
No, he says that...
Freakoid 69.
He said his people... he said that my secretary showed me some, he said, and they were really nice. I said, yeah, but they would have been vetted. And he went, oh, yeah, you're probably right. I thought, oh, no, I've brought a bit of reality into the...
I'd be lying awake all night.
I said, don't read reviews, nothing of that nature. And I think he took it to heart. But the best thing was, he did a bit of a speech on the stairs at Clarence House. I have to say, I did really like him. He seemed somewhat just exciting, Prince Charles, come on. Brilliant.
Prince Charles, come on.
I've seen him on, I've seen him on stamps, and then there he is. Anyway, so he stood on the stairs, and then he said, anyway, good night, and he waved, and then he just went up to bed. That was brilliant. He did, you expect him to leave by a door, but he just said good night then, and off he went, and I thought, it's like when you're at a party and they just can't get rid of you, and at the end they say, well, I'll go to bed, you think, oh.
And did they turn the lights off after he did that?
No, well, we didn't have we were out so quick. We were, yeah, but it's one of the great exits of all time, I thought. Much better than the entrance at the Hungry Horse.
I just wondered what would happen if Prince Charles Googled himself, and the first thing to come up is the Prince Charles Cinema.
Yeah.
And then number 2 is...
Probably didn't even know he owned that.
The Prince of Wales is number 2.
Prince of Wales, I think he knew that. Yeah. I mean, he's no stranger to a fleur-de-lis.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Frank, we've had a text in from Yvonne in South Wales. Good morning, Frank, Emily and Gareth. Love the show every week. Oh, shouldn't read praise out. Sorry about that. And enjoyed Frank on the One show this week. Really made me laugh.
Well, it's funny you should bring that up.
Why?
It was a bit of a dark night for me in many ways.
Really?
Oh.
I think it's quite a good show.
Well, no, it's an interesting... They phoned me up and they said, right, so what we're going to do, we're going to do a Japanese earthquake, you're going to eat insects, and then we'd like you to do a George Formby-style song about the terms and conditions for our competition. I thought, this is the One show. Variety.
Goodness.
And I was all set for the... Matt, the guy, the main guy on there, who said to David Cameron, "How do you sleep?" So there was tension in the air. They're still in the afternoon.
Hot Matt.
Casey goes in for the kill.
Yeah, he actually looked at me and said, "Where do you sleep?" Which I didn't think was. Anyway, I had a traumatic thing because we were eating the insects. There were maggots and locusts, ants, cheesy ants. I'm fine with all that. I'll eat anything.
Okay.
And then the insect man said, "Oh, have a scorpion."
Oh yeah.
So I had a scorpion, and I said it's quite big. It still had the sting on, and I said, for me, I know that it's got a sort of a. He said, "Oh yeah, they're soaked in vodka." Well, as you may know, I haven't had a drink since September the 24th, 1986, and I'm a recovering alcoholic. And I thought, am I going to end up on waste ground with 15 plastic carrier bags shouting at people? Yes, this happened to me because I had an alcoholic scorpion on the One show. Is that what my life is destined to be? But I thought it was quite a big... So now, of course, I've prided myself on not lapsing over that period. But now I've had a vodka scorpion, I'm thinking, well, I might... If I went out and had 12 pints of mild tonight...
Oh, Frank, don't say that.
I don't think it's quite a drink.
No, it doesn't count.
Scorpion.
It sounds like a drink, doesn't it? I'll have a vodka scorpion, please. How much they're going to sting you for that? Well, it was...
Oh, Frank, vodka doesn't count, darling. That's what my mother was used to say to me. But, Frank, do you...
She was at her best at breakfast. I always thought that.
Oh, Frank, I'm sorry you had that. That's terrible. Did you complain?
Well, I
air?
did a bit, but I think Matt seemed genuinely... I was, in a way, I was
He's
so
a nice
happy.
man.
I was so happy Brandreth wasn't there. Nothing could spoil my night. But, there were fabulous questions.
Speaking of vodka-soaked scorpions.
Fabulous questions.
Very good, Gareth.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
We're near the end, I fear. But before we go, I think Gareth has an announcement to make.
I thought you weren't going to tell anyone.
What is that? Oh, yeah. Oh, me and Laura having another baby.
Oh, that's absolutely marvellous news.
Another one,
So
yes.
exciting.
It is. He's a dark horse, isn't he? If you saw him in the street, you'd think, no way. But it turns out... So how many more now before you can live completely off benefit? I think that's the question the country's asking.
Yeah. But the balance is that how many, having enough so that you can survive before you get the full benefit. We had the scan yesterday and we were very scared it was twins because that'd be,
Couldn't afford twins.
game over pretty much.
Okay, you could have just not let one out.
eBay, I was thinking.
Oh, God.
But no, there's one of them and he looks very healthy.
Baby in the
kicking.
radio family.
Yeah, and because I think you're just trying to save him money by the sound. You just didn't want to waste all those clothes you'd bought for Easter. Yeah, better get someone we can hand down to. Anyway, look, you can listen to Not the Weekend podcast. You can download that on Wednesday. That's a completely different kettle of fish altogether, but it's us three talking in a small room. I'm off to see West Bromwich Albion hopefully wipe the floor with Arsenal. Yeah. I'm told it's a good time to play Arsenal. That's what I've been told. Okay, so have a lovely weekend and week, and we love you all, and I think we'll go out and wet the baby's head. Whether I can hit it from here is a good question. Okay, goodbye.
You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Treebor Soft Mints, bringing a softer, mintier feel to your Saturday morning.
Absolute Radio.